Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone, and thank you for joining us again on our channel where we dive into the most fascinating and surprising stories in the world of coin collecting and treasure hunting. And today we are going to talk about a coin that might look very ordinary at first glance yet in reality has shocked the numismatic community by being worth millions because of the strange and rare mistakes that occurred during its production. I am talking about the 1998 1-cent coin. The Lincoln penny, which in certain rare era varieties has been valued as high as $6 million, yes, $6 million for a single penny, and the reason behind this incredible value is rooted in the fascinating world of minting errors, mistakes, and anomalies that transform what should have been an ordinary piece of circulating currency into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that collectors will fight over. And in this video we will go through the story of the 1998 penny in detail, exploring what types of errors make it so rare, why collectors place such high value on them, how these mistakes occur at the United States Mint, and how the combination of rarity, demand, history, and survival transforms such a tiny coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure. So let's begin with the context. In 1998 the U.S. Mint struck billions of Lincoln cents. And like most modern issues they were copper-plated zinc coins, with a thin copper layer over a zinc core, and production took place at both Philadelphia and Denver. But despite the Mint's goal of mass-producing identical coins with high-speed presses and strict quality controls, mistakes are inevitable, and when they happen they create unique pieces that collectors covet, and in the case of the 1998 cent there are several types of errors that have been documented and others that remain possibilities, any of which can send value skyrocketing. And perhaps the most famous are the wide AM and close AM varieties, because in 1998 the reverse design of the Lincoln cent was supposed to feature a close AM in the word America, where the letters A and M are very close together, almost touching, yet due to die mix-ups a number of coins were struck with the wide AM design where the letters are clearly separated, and although the wide AM is much more common in the following year 1999, the 1998 wide AM is rare and highly sought after, and collectors pay huge sums for high-grade examples. But imagine if one of these 1998 wide AM cents also had an additional error like a double die on the obverse or a dramatic off-center strike. That coin would be truly unique and potentially worth millions, and this is where the story gets exciting because every possible combination of errors adds more rarity and more value. And speaking of double dies, 1998 cents have been reported with doubling in Lincoln's ear and in the motto, creating noticeable doubling visible even without magnification, and double die obverse are among the most famous error types in U.S. coin history, with legendary examples like the 1955 double die cent commanding huge premiums. So when a modern date like 1998 shows similar dramatic doubling, collectors recognize its significance and rush to acquire them. And then there are die cracks, die chips, and cuds, which occur when the dies that strike the coins begin to wear, break, or chip, leaving raised blobs or missing areas on the finished coin. And while minor examples are common, massive die breaks that change Lincoln's portrait or create unusual shapes are rare and highly collectible, with some nicknamed by the community for their dramatic appearance. And if a 1998 penny showed a massive cut error covering part of the date or motto, its value could skyrocket. And other error types include off-center strikes where the design is struck away from the center leaving part of the blank exposed, broad strikes where the coin is struck outside the restraining collar making it spread larger then normal, and multi-strikes where the coin is struck multiple times by the press creating overlapping ghost-like images of Lincoln or the memorial reverse. And dramatic examples of these errors are always valuable, and in 1998 some of these did escape into circulation, making them prized finds today. And another category of highly valuable error is the wrong planchet strike, where a coin is accidentally struck on a blank intended for another denomination, such as a dime or foreign coin blank. And history has shown us that wrong planchet errors are some of the most dramatic and valuable in all of numismatics, because they are so clearly mistakes and so incredibly rare. And if a 1998 penny were discovered struck on a silver dime planchet or a foreign copper nickel blank, it would instantly become a million-dollar rarity, especially if combined with other anomalies like doubling or misalignment. And let's not forget transitional errors where a coin is struck on a planchet from a different era's composition. For instance, if somehow a leftover bronze blank from pre-1982 was struck in 1998, that coin would become a historic treasure. And transitional errors are legendary because they mark the intersection of two eras in coinage history, and collectors place immense value on them. and when we consider all these possibilities together, it is easy to see why the 1998 cent in spectacular error forms can command $6 million or more, because uniqueness, rarity, and dramatic visual appeal are what drive the market, and collectors are not just buying a coin, they are buying a piece of minting history, a story of survival, and a one-of-a-kind artifact that no one else in the world can own, and that exclusivity is priceless to the right buyer. And now let's talk about die clashes, which occur when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a blank in between, leaving ghostly impressions of the memorial building on Lincoln's portrait or Lincoln's outline on the reverse, and these clash marks can be spectacular when strong, and on a 1998 cent a bold clash would make for an extraordinary error, especially in high-grade condition. And speaking of condition, this is another factor that explains why some coins are worth far more than others, because collectors always pay a premium for uncirculated or mint-state examples, especially those graded by top grading services like PCGS or NGC, and if a dramatic error 1998 cent were discovered in pristine uncirculated condition, untouched and flawless, it could easily surpass the $6 million mark because condition multiplies value, and this has been proven time and again in the marketplace where the highest graded examples of rare varieties sell for exponentially more than lower grade ones. And another type of error to consider is struck-through errors, where foreign material like grease, thread, or even fragments of metal get in the way during the strike, leaving unusual impressions or missing design elements on the coin. And these errors are fascinating because they provide a glimpse into the chaotic environment of high-speed coin production, and each one is unique depending on what material was struck through. So a 1998 penny struck through wire, cloth, or other material could become highly collectible, especially if dramatic and obvious, and beyond that there are tilted die errors, rotated dies, misaligned strikes, and other subtle mistakes that add variety to the 1998 cent series. And when combined with already rare varieties like the wide AM or doubled die, the results can be extraordinary. And let's not forget that the late 1990s were a time of transition for the mint, with design hubs, die preparation methods, and technology evolving, and these transitions often lead to mix-ups and anomalies, which helps explain why the 1998 cent has so many fascinating varieties, and why collectors are drawn to this year. And when we look at the market history of other famous error coins, like the 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle, which sold for over $18 million, or the 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar, which sold for over $10 million, we see that the precedent for multi-million-dollar coins is well established, and though those are older coins, the same principles apply: rarity plus demand plus story equals value. And the 1998 penny with extraordinary errors has all three, making the $6 million valuation not only believable but inevitable in the right circumstances. And what makes this story so compelling for all of you watching is that these coins are out there. Some may still be sitting in bank rolls, coin jars, or pocket change, waiting to be discovered, because unlike ancient rarities locked away in museums, modern error coins often circulate until someone notices them, which means the next lucky finder could be you. And this is why coin collecting and error hunting is so exciting, because it combines history, chance, and the thrill of treasure hunting into one. And every time you look at your change you could be looking at a life-changing discovery. And the story of the 1998 penny worth $6 million proves that no coin is too ordinary to ignore, because even the smallest